welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Mansing. Happy Friday. After reports of low cruise calls and overnight stays in the Virgin Islands, the territory may see a rise in revenues from a new authorization. Today, the governor, along with the Commissioner of Tourism and the executive director of one of the largest basketball tournaments held in the VI, they unveiled plans to make the Virgin Islands an irrefutable sports destination. Stephanie Brown reports.
MAP informed that the National Collegiate Athletic Association, which regulates conferences, athletes, and institutions, gave approval to the Virgin Islands to host sporting events.
Let me underscore that all 24 NCAA Division I sports, that means not just basketball, are now sanctioned to travel to the territory for summer tours.
After reports released indicated that overnight visitors were on a decline in the territory, Governor Mapp assembled a task force to improve visitor experiences and to bring more dollars into the territory. Beverly Nicholson Doty is a member of that task force, and she informed about the importance of sports tourism.
Just to give you a snapshot of what Paradise Jam's fall already is contributing to the territory. Paradise Jam's fall produces $2.4 million in direct economic impact.
The executive director of Paradise Jams exclaimed that he has enjoyed his 16-year partnership with Virgin Islands affiliates, and he was happy to hear that the territory is now officially sanctioned by the NCAA.
But the next significant thing is next year, 2018, starting for all these different Division I programs to come down here and to compete, but also to train. I was unaware that a few swim teams have already been coming to St. Croix. Harvard's come and stayed in some condos, and a couple other Division I schools.
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
Sports tourism is a fast-growing sector of the global travel industry and equates to $7 billion a year, and events can help increase hotel capacity and overnight stays. Be sure to count up too. We will definitely keep you updated on that. Today at the Earl B. Otley Legislative Building, members of the St. Thomas Alumni Chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, they had a forum with legislators about human trafficking and how we in the Virgin Islands don't necessarily recognize this sign. News 2 Stephanie Brown has more.
Reported in 2014, an estimated $150 billion was generated from forced labor.
Human trafficking, as we know, is real, is taking place. However, something that is not very obvious.
The St. Thomas Alumni Chapter of the Delta sorority addressed the plight of sexual slavery in the territory at the Earl B. Otley Legislative Building.
Right here in the Virgin Islands, you may see individuals prostituting outside the different, what we call places of ill repute, and think that they're doing it willingly. But now, as we seek to open the eyes of everyone in the Virgin Islands, it may be that they are, in fact, victims of human trafficking.
Human trafficking can encompass an array of crimes that deal with surrogacy, forced marriage, as well as forcible hard labor. The Virgin Islands Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Coalition testified that sex trafficking is not elusive to the territory.
When we name it, we can recognize it by separating the myths from the facts. For example, the perception that human trafficking only occurs among immigrants is false, as with one local case in 2016 from the Virgin Islands.
The assistant U.S. attorney informed that he has had first-hand experience in prosecuting sexual trafficking crimes in a previous district, and that perpetrators do not have an MO, rather anyone can be engaging in the criminal act.
In addition to cutting across all walks of life for victims, it cuts across all manner of occupations, from legal industries to illegal industries, and it can occur in the home.
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
To learn more about the signs of human trafficking, you can go to www.humantraffickinghotline.com. or to report suspected human trafficking, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text HELP to Be Free. Well, much more. We have over 60 VIPD police officers. They received some training from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. What was this training all about? Well, to reduce the number of impaired driving crashes, injuries, and fatalities. Here's more. The National Training Center held training for VIPD officers, which is a 100% federally funded National Highway Transportation Safety Ad training course entitled Standardized Field Sobriety Test Training. One's yellow, one's white. Those are fog lines. The trainings were being held simultaneously on St. Croix and St. Thomas St. John District on May 22nd to the 25th. This training will improve the interdiction of impaired drivers.
This is the first time in the history of the Virgin Islands that we've had a wet lab, which involves volunteers, Virgin Islanders, coming to assist the Virgin Islands Police Department in learning how to identify impaired drivers. And we're certainly happy that Tom Woodward and Adam is here to assist us in giving the officers the full training needed, and we certainly thank NHTSA for their contribution to making all of this happen. So,
during the first phase, 12 qualified participants will be identified to become future SFST instructors. This will allow the VIPD to become self-sufficient in the delivery of the curriculum and allow all enforcement personnel to be trained in this critical area. Nationally recognized trainers, retired Lieutenant Tom Woodard, a drug recognition expert coordinator from the state of Maryland, Shannon Trice, National Highway Safety Administration from New York, and Tom Zelensky, U.S. National Park Service, VIPD Sergeant Arthur Joseph, VIPD Highway Safety Director Akil Johnson, all assisted in the training.
Anytime we get to improve the ability of law enforcement officers to detect and get impaired drivers off the roadway, it's a great thing. Far too many people are being injured and killed as a result of impaired driving. So again, appreciate the opportunity of being here. We've got a great class of about 30 students in there. They're learning the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration approved tests to identify impaired drivers, and I'm confident they're going to become excellent at being able to differentiate between those people who are legally impaired and those who are not impaired.
The SFST program has been available nationally to law enforcement for over 25 years. Since its inception, law enforcement officers and prosecutors have used this standardized and evidence-based process to professionally identify and remove alcohol-impaired drivers from public roads. We'll turn into some crime reports. On May 25th at approximately 10:22 p.m., an officer on patrol reported a discharging of multiple shots in the D. Hamilton-Jackson area, the Red Brick housing community. Officers responded and a search was conducted to find the location of the discharging of the shots. Callers indicated to 911 that the location of the victim. When officers arrived on the scene, they discovered an unresponsive black male individual. The victim had succumbed to his injuries from gunshot wounds. EMT and medical staff on scene pronounced the victim dead. The victim was transported to the morgue by the attendants, and next of kin has not been notified. Detectives were at the scene canvassing the area for information and evidence. The incident is actively under investigation by the Criminal Investigation Bureau. If you have any information on this crime or any other in the territory, those are the numbers to call. The Criminal Investigation Bureau, 340-778-2211, Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-TIPS. Also on May 25th at approximately 11:30 p.m., police say 911 call center, they reported that a black male individual was brandishing a weapon at the vicinity of the Frontline Bar in Calcahoon. An off-duty police officer called 911 advising that he was responding to the incident, and the off-duty officer told the suspect on the scene to drop the weapon. The suspect pointed his weapon in the direction of the officer. The officer discharged his weapon weapon. The suspect received gunshot wounds to the body. The on-duty officers arrived on the scene and was unaware that an off-duty police officer was on the scene, discharging their weapons, and the off-duty officer causing injury by friendly fire. The off-duty officer received gunshot wound to the hip area and was transported to the Juan F. Louis Hospital by police officers. The suspect was transported to the Juan F. Louis Hospital by ambulance. Again, the VIPD investigating both incidents simultaneously as a criminal and internal investigations. Call police if you have any information that can assist. Well, the Memorial Day parades will be held on Monday. They're coming up, and here is Patrick Farrell with more on what to expect.
Right now we are preparing, doing our final touches for the Memorial Day activities this weekend, which will be having activities throughout the territory all weekend. As a matter of fact, we start on St. John this coming Sunday with a pre-Memorial Day ceremony at the Frank Powell Park starting at 3 p.m. And then on Monday, which is actual Memorial Day on the 29th of May, we have Memorial Day ceremonies and Memorial Day parades on both islands of St. Thomas and St. Croix, beginning at 9:30 a.m. On St. Croix, it will be in the Frederickstead town. We'll have a seaside ceremony for all those that perish at sea, and then we'll have a final ceremony right there at the Vern I. Richards Veterans Park. On the island of St. Thomas, starting again at 9:30 a.m., we will have the graveside ceremony at the Western Cemetery #1, and then we will have a procession going to the Emil White Memorial on the waterfront, where we'll have a seaside ceremony as in the one we did in St. Croix, and then we'll move on to the Franklin D. Roosevelt Veterans Park here on St. Thomas, where we'll have the final ceremony for the Memorial Day activities.
Okay, we'll have more on that. Now, don't forget the EMS Week events that comes to an end this Monday. You can join the crew for the remaining events, and that's on Saturday. There's an old school party at the Canagata Multi-Purpose Center, and then on Monday, May 29th, a memorial bike ride in Frederickstead. Starting at 8 a.m. at the Ann Abramson Pier, it ends at the Vincent Mason Pool, and then at the pool itself around 10 a.m. there will be a pool and beach party. And a quick note to our viewers, we will not air newscasts on Monday, May 29 due to the Memorial Day holiday, but be sure to tune in for the highlights of the Memorial Day parades on Tuesday's newscast at 7 p.m. Well, keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch with the New York Stock Exchange. As we can see there, the Dow down 2, NASDAQ and S&P up. Coming up on News 2, we have highlights from the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs and the Virgin Islands Fire Service. They teamed up and held a demonstration at the Lionel Roberts Stadium. We'll have highlights from that coming up next. Beautiful day out there today. Well, the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs and the Virgin Islands Fire Service, they invited the public to attend a series of challenges for emergency responders today at the Lionel Roberts Stadium. The challenges included a firefighter challenge, emergency medical service and extrication challenge. It allowed emergency response professionals from around the Caribbean to showcase their skills. Here's more.
Today we are part of a competition here at the Lionel Roberts Stadium that is produced by the Caribbean Association of Fire Chiefs. They're here for the annual conference, and today the conference will end with a competition among firefighters, rescue operators. They'll be doing extrication, they will be doing a drill that is common to the firefighters. So this conference is represented by approximately 20 to 22 Caribbean countries. To include, you have Guyana, you have Barbados, you have Antigua, you have St. Martin, you have the Virgin Islands, of course, Tortola. So this is just a number of some of the islands that are here participating. Today they're going to show their skills, they're going to show their stamina, they're going to show us, the public, what it takes to be a firefighter and what it takes to save lives. This is coming from the Caribbean Association of Conference of Fire Chiefs.
Okay, and as we shared, there's a conference coming up as well. Well, it's music to the ears of young musicians. These students at the Adelita Cancrine Junior High School, they learned how to play the guitar, and then guess what? They were awarded with a guitar. Rewarded with a guitar. Here's more about a program that will hopefully branch out to the entire community.
Well, so Hailey had expressed that he had given guitar lessons for a long time, especially in Hawaii. He was giving lessons and he wanted to do that here. So I wanted to assist him to make that possible. I'm also a guitarist, aspiring guitarist. So I thought let's take it up a notch and not just give a lesson, but give them an actual tool. So we had no funds to make this happen. We just had our will and our love for the community and for music. So I made a flyer and I requested for the community to participate and make this possible. So we got 12 guitar donations in total. And we've had 8 consistent students, only 4 here today. And we look forward to making this expand and yeah, to having more students for the next part of the year. And it's also open to any student on St. Thomas.
Yeah, well, that's our future, man. The children are our future. A lot of people wait for money and things to help out, but it's just the love we have in our hearts to help the children. Because when I was young, somebody helped me. It didn't cost no money. You know, so we have to continue that tradition. That's why we say each one teach one. Yeah. And that's each one can reach one if each one teach one. Yeah. Right? Okay.
And we will have more about that fabulous program in a later newscast. Meanwhile, the Adelita Cancrine Junior High School, they closed out another year of the Cancrine Oral Reading Exchange, the core program, with a fun book parade that was held today. The annual event kicked off at the school, made its way to the Emil Griffith Ballpark, and back to the school's campus. 7th and 8th grade students assigned to teams, they formed troops and brought book characters to life with vibrant costumes, props, and performances. 2nd graders from the Ulla F. Muller Elementary School were guest participants in the parade. They wore handcrafted costumes depicting the African folkloric tales of Anansi. Book parade coordinator and social studies chairperson Wendy Diaz shared the history of the core program and book parade. The core parade, she said, was started about 2002, and the idea was to promote the importance of reading among our students, who in many cases tend to read at a lower level in terms of comprehension. She said it's a reading program, and to keep it fun and interesting, they culminated with the book parade. Student teams were judged on best book trailer, best cinematography, best performance on the road, best oral presentation, best rap, chat or song, best costumes, and best book cover. Well, Thursday's African Liberation Day ceremony hosted by the 32nd Legislature featured some musical selections, as we shared on Thursday's newscast, cultural dances and celebrations, as well as words of wisdom and encouragement. Sharing a personal story, St. Thomas Senator Jeanette Millen-Young points out Virgin Islander ancestry with Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic as a source of pride. Here's more.
Puerto Rico is also a mixture of African, Indian, and Spanish. So why would I be offended because you said to me I look like someone from the Dominican Republic? I'm not. But thank you for seeing the Spanish in me, because I think each and every aspect of us has to be respected, and we have to be proud of ourselves.
Well, don't forget to check out the Ag Fair in Smith Bay that's taking place this weekend, May 28th from 1 to 7 p.m. It's presented by the Smith Bay Community Action Foundation. In addition to all the foods, vendors, entertainment, and more, there are lots of opportunities to win gifts and prizes. Here's more.
And we would like to thank our the association, the Smith Bay Community Association, for inviting us. And it is high time for us to present our culture, the Filipino culture. And I would like to inform you that we are representing the Filipino community in the island. And during that day, we will be having the food sale, wherein we will be showcasing our culture in terms of how Filipinos prepare this, our food.
Here you can see my bird houses. I put these together and use a couple of seashells and cover them Also, my mukujumbis, they are made from the keyhole limpet seashells, a little glass. This one is dancing on the broken glass. So anything you need for seashells, see Ida Nibs.
Happy Memorial Day weekend.
And remember, no alcohol will be served.
Good message, and be sure to go out and support. Now, the Smith Bay Ag Fair is just one of the big events coming up this weekend. If you're looking for something else to do, Emmett P. has your weekend guide.
Ready. It's another episode. When we out on the road, this is what we love to celebrate,
Memorial Weekend signals one thing: Polka Run. Let's hear from Gilroy Sproul and Roger Francis what Polka Run is all about.
This is Gilroy Sproul of the USPI Stars and Stripes Polka Run. This weekend launches the very first annual Caribbean Triple Crown Polka Run at the Leverick Bay BVI event, May 28th. What is the Triple Crown Caribbean Polka Run series? It's a family of polka runs starting with the Leverick Bay Polka Run this Sunday in the BVI, followed by the USVI Stars and Stripes Polka Run July 2nd, and then finally the St. Martin Polka Run July 29th. The Triple Crown Caribbean Polka Run series was started as a means to help revitalize our local marine industry. It started out with the idea of hopefully that we can put the U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands on the map as a premier destination for marine events.
What I like by Polka Run is that all the boats get together, from small boats to big boats, fast boats to slow boats. Everybody get together, drinks, have fun. Yeah, everybody know the Scarab, right? This is my baby right here. #1 party boat in the Caribbean. Anybody who have been out with me on this thing, they have to come back. Party boat, music, food, drinks, everything. We ain't the fastest out there, you know. We just want to get there and we having a good time. We feel like you're in a disco, in a club, partying, in your bathing suit, partying. The most exciting thing is when you see all them boats, over 150, 200 boats, take off from one spot to the next. Man, that's something to see, man.
Now for your weekend events. St. Croix, it's Flavor of St. Croix and the St. Croix Rum Festival. Saturday, it's Reggae Night. Sunday, it's Soca Night. Also Sunday, United Way presents the 2017 Chili Cook-Off. St. Thomas Sunday, and every Sunday, it's Virgin Sundays. This week features Versatile Band. BVI presents a weekend long of activities, the Jazz and Style Festival. Also, there's Mardi Gras featuring Gaza Slim. And of course, Sunday, the big 2017 Polka Run. Have a safe and happy Memorial Weekend.
Big Memorial Day weekend. We have parades, fairs, boating. Let's hear what we can expect weather-wise. Your AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Across the Caribbean as we continue into tonight here. We do have a frontal boundary well up to the north now around Virgin Islands and the surrounding areas. Off to the east is where we have an upper level low that continues to spin up out here, and it will continue to weaken as we head into the course of this weekend. As we get a little closer look, remember that remains well off to our east, but because of it remaining nearby, we could be dealing with a few showers into the next couple of days. Now for tonight, partly cloudy skies in the forecast in the Virgin Islands, and temperatures tumbling right back into the upper 70s. For tomorrow in St. John's, we're expected to rise to 86 degrees, a shower in places here. A similar story here around St. Thomas, a couple of showers in spots with that upper level low remaining nearby, spitting out toward our east. 86 degrees for tomorrow here, St. Croix at 87. Also a few brief passing showers. If you are heading out to the waters here in the Atlantic side, wave heights anywhere between 3 to 5 feet. Once again, that easterly flow flow 10 to 15 knots, and the winds remaining the same for the Caribbean side, but the waves anywhere between 2 to 4 feet. And again, getting in that easterly flow that's driving a few showers in this area. As we check out your extended outlook as we continue into Sunday, a couple of showers in spots, and temperatures once again will hold up in the mid to upper 80s. Couple of showers as we head into Monday and Tuesday, and once again we are expected to remain mild into the 80s Wednesday as well. Could be dealing with a couple of spotty showers. Once again, really nothing too significant to talk about, just a few showers here and there throughout the course of the week, and well into next week as well. Sandy, back to you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Time for our news to weather picture there by Shamal Montez, 5th grader, sharing this beautiful picture there. Nice green, nice scenery as we head into the weekend. Everybody's getting ready to head outdoors. Shamal, thank you for that nice sunny outlook. Send us your news to weather picture to the address on the screen, and be sure to tune in right here to see your picture featured. Stick around. We have much more straight ahead. We have News 2 Sports that comes your way next.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. The long-awaited moment has arrived. After an 82-game regular season and 3 rounds of playoffs that were as exciting as watching Tan grow, the NBA has the finals matchup we've all been waiting for: the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. The Cavs punched their ticket last night with Game 5 with a win in Boston. LeBron is ready to close this series out. Second quarter, Cavs already up by 18, and LeBron goes baseline. Third quarter, Kyrie with the rebound, and LeBron with the deliver us from evil slam. Ouch! Cavs are up by 30. Yeah, you heard me. And LeBron, he buries the 3 and passes MJ on the all-time playoff scoring list. Cavs go on to win 135-102 and will play the Warriors in the finals. Game 1 is on Thursday, June 1st in Oakland. Kyrie Irving, he is ready for the challenge.
Something that we needed, ultimately, to lose Game 3 in the fashion that we did, in the way that Boston challenged us continuously. We needed all that to propel us to this moment, and there are more moments to come where we'll be tested, especially on the West Coast playing against a great team like the Warriors. So it was great for us, and we're happy with getting back to the finals, but we're definitely not satisfied where we are.
Kyrie's ready, and I'm ready to talk some smack. That's right, I say the Cavs in 7. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. It's Memorial Day, and Sandy, back to you.
Gary, have a great Memorial Day weekend as well, and you as well. Thank you for joining us for all the latest in news, weather, and sports. On behalf of all of us, have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. We will see you on Tuesday. I'm Sandra Benedict, and we'll see you next time.